I have turned the soul of this beautiful land, but that beautiful a rich man's world. I have turned the soul of this beautiful.
Hello and welcome to the Out of Bounds podcast. It's the day we've been waiting for all year. March Madness tournament prediction time is here. We've got our we got our brackets solidified. We got them put in. No more corrections. Well, there may be due to injuries, but as of right now, we have our predictions and we're ready to give them to you. Welcome to the studio, Mr. Bragg, to the studio, to the podcast, whatever.
Yeah,
How we feeling today?
I'm excited, man. It's the big day. Well, I guess the big day is Thursday, but our big day.
Yeah.
We making the picks. Yeah.
You might owe the podcast an apology for dipping before the show ended yesterday.
Oh yeah, apologies on that. Just had some things come up, but I'm here now when it matters. So
That's right. We have our tournament challenge. We actually have 6 members in it, or 5. A few guys off of TikTok joined it. There will be a cash prize, but these are our picks from ESPN. Have you joined it yet? I know you have your picks, but have you joined it yet?
oh no, I still have to get in there.
Okay, well,
But I'll get
what
in
we're going
there.
to be doing is just going region to region, our predictions all the way down to the national championship. Our biggest, obviously, our upsets. We'll be talking about all that, why we think who's going to win each game, and it's going to be a good episode. Good episode. We are live, so welcome to the stream, and we'll just get things started. You want to go first, or you want me to go first? How you wanna do
Yeah. I can go first. So we're starting with the South, right? From Southeast, Midwest, West. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So first game we have is Alabama going up against the winner of Texas A&M Corpus Christi, and then is that Southeast Missouri State?
Yeah, Southeast.
Right.
That's right.
I think I'll take in the playing game. I'll probably which is tonight. I guess we can predict that if you want to.
Yeah, we can. You want to do those predictions at the end? We'll just say, or we can predict it now.
I think we should predict it now and then cover it like that, like cover the game. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. Alabama's not going to.
I'm putting a flip parlay for it, so it does matter to me.
Oh, for the game tonight?
Yeah, the games.
2
games.
If I had to pick, I think I would take. Where's the game played at?
It's in Dayton,
Ohio. So, I think I would take Southeast Missouri. Texas A&M just lost their best, or one of their better players, one of their better starters, which they still beat Northwestern State without him.
Right.
I don't know if they get past Southeast Missouri, who looks pretty hot right now. They beat Morehead State in their tournament, and then beat Tennessee Tech in OT. So, yeah, I'll go with them. But if you want to go A&M, it really doesn't matter. Either way, Alabama wins this matchup.
Right. That one's Alabama's our first. The first pick. They're just. It's happened one time in the history of basketball. There's no way to pick the 16th seed. But if I had to pick one, Northern Kentucky is the best one. But go ahead.
I agree. To the 8 and 9 game, Maryland and West Virginia. This one could really go either way, in my opinion. I think Maryland has shown at times they can be, a ranked team. I'm not sure if West Virginia was ever ranked at all in a year. Maybe they snuck in once or twice. But I actually have the 9 seed West Virginia pulling it out. I just think they play in a slightly tougher conference. They can hang with those top teams, and I don't think Maryland is one of them. So I'm going to go with West Virginia.
Yeah, I know I mentioned Maryland yesterday, but I've been doing some research overnight. And fun fact, conference teams that went below 500 in their conference that made the tournament are 5-0. They never lost. So they're battle tested. They're war ready. And I changed my pick to West Virginia.
That's 5-0 in the in the first round, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, in their first
Okay.
game. So
So West Virginia for you?
I'm going West Virginia as well. Next, we have a group of you can go with a group of upsets that many people think will
Yeah,
be up.
two back to back. First one being San Diego State and Charleston, College of Charleston. I've been watching some March Madness content, and the way they talk about Charleston is they talk real highly, and they think they're gonna overwhelm, a San Diego State team that hasn't really seen a quick paced, high offense, high octane offense like Charleston brings. Which the more they talk about it, the more I see the upset potential. I'm gonna hold true to my pick and go San Diego State. What you got?
I'm going San Diego State for the same reason you are. When it comes to March, you've got all these upsets that you could see happening. This one is one of the most evident ones in the history of 12 and 5 games. I mean, looking at it, everybody's going to pick College of Charleston, which is the sole reason I'm picking San Diego State. Because the way this voodoo crap of a tournament that we all love so dearly works is you can't predict them upsets. You can, but we're liable to predict Drake to beat Miami and College of Charleston to beat San Diego State, and it could very well be the other two 12 seeds. I know 12 seeds are pretty good in the tournament, but listen, San Diego State's battle tested. They're in a pretty good Mountain West conference. Charleston didn't play much of anybody. Hofstra, I guess. Um, but give me San Diego State, man. I just think they're really good. I think they're really talented, and I think people are going to sleep on them, and they're going to use that for motivation. I got them winning this game.
Yeah, just to touch back on it, I just feel like San Diego State. Like I hear a lot of people talking about Charleston only having 3 losses. The conference they play in is not a tough conference really. And the wins, at least the notable results ESPN shows, North Carolina game that was on the road, they lost by 16, which is fine. Kent State win at home. They beat Kent State by 2. Kent State also in the bracket, and Kent State is a good team. And then Virginia Tech win by 2. The fact that Virginia Tech is in your tough games or out of conference tough games, like San Diego State has Arizona, who they lost to, St. Mary's, who they also lost to, Arkansas, Utah State, Nevada, like just teams that I would say are more consistent than a team like Charleston. Like, don't get me wrong, Charleston on any night could win, but I'm gonna just take the safe pick.
Yeah, I'm taking a safe pick here too, no doubt.
Next one we have is another upset candidate that's been popular, Virginia and Furman. Furman being one of the best scoring shooting teams in the nation. Not only are they crazy at shooting, the thing is with Furman, like I could see it happen. It's really similar to the Charleston and San Diego State game for me. They just Furman hasn't seen a team like Virginia yet. They haven't played a top 25 team. The best team they played was between Penn State, NC State. You can hash that out. However, I would probably give it to Penn State. They only lost to Penn State by 5, and then they lost to NC State by 19. While Virginia has these wins over Duke, Baylor, they have a win over. They have a win over North Carolina, 2 wins over North Carolina. So I'm gonna give the slight edge to Virginia. Wouldn't shock me if Furman really won, but I'm just not gonna pick it.
Yeah, this is the same thing. I'm with you on this one. Again, the public's going to be on Furman plus whatever. Everybody's going to be Furman. The way Virginia's style is going to be so tough for Furman. If Furman can shoot, they're going to have to shoot at an amazing clip to win this game. Virginia's offense isn't great, obviously, but I don't think Furman's defense is anything to call home about. And I think they're just gonna overpower them, man. and they're going to wear them down on offense until eventually they're depending on three ball. And once three ball stops going in, it's just I'm going to go against the public. I'm going to take Virginia minus 6.5. Um, because I feel like they win this game by 10 plus. Just because at the end I feel like Furman gets tired, Virginia wears them out, and that's when Virginia plays their best ball. So give me the
And
Cavaliers.
that's another thing. Virginia's playing pretty good right now. Like beat North Carolina in the ACC tournament, killed Clemson in the ACC, a hot Clemson team, and then they didn't play bad against Duke, who you could
Right,
argue is the hottest team in college basketball right now.
that
So
is the truth.
I think, and I mean, when Virginia has gone against these same style of teams like NC State, Wake Forest, Miami, who I would say is the highest tier of this like quick, good offense shooting team, they only lost to Miami by 2 on the road. Like they know how to go against this. Furman doesn't know how to score on this type of defense. So
Right.
give me the
Yeah, that
Cavs.
give me the Cavs. Next up, I'll go with this one. Creighton and NC State. I've touched base on it. You know how I feel about this. The Blue Jays, man, they're a tough team, and when it comes to March, I think they can be very good. I've actually got them um not just finishing after the next round either, but uh, I think they take down NC State. I think this one will definitely be close. This will be one of the games I just bet the money line on because I don't feel any way about the points. But I think Creighton's just NC State relies so heavily on their offense and DJ Burns. If Creighton can get Burns in trouble and foul trouble early, they'll win this game. I could see it going either way. Obviously, if NC State shoots the lights out, then so be it. They'll win the game. But I just don't see them doing that.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. Creighton just feels like a
Complete.
more solid, more yeah. They don't have one or two guys who they rely on. It's like that whole starting five is capable of giving you a great game, great defense the whole game. NC State, it's like you have Terquavian Smith, you have Jarkel Joyner. What else? DJ Burns is
Right.
not gonna because Creighton has a big guy who can stay in Ryan Kalkbrenner. He's gonna hold DJ Burns at
Right.
least to it's hard because he's like what is he like 280, two
He's
seventy
huge.
five.
Gotta
He's
be
a big guy.
300.
He
He's
could
close to
be. I
300.
just know what he's listed at is like 280, 285. But Kalkbrenner's he's gonna hold tough. And then Creighton has guys like Ryan Nimhard, Trey Alexander, good wing perimeter defenders, and I feel like they'll limit NC State enough and pull it out. So I'll go Creighton as well.
Okay. Um, Baylor and UCSB, California Santa Barbara, baseball school is. Yeah, I haven't seen them in basketball in a while, if ever. But Baylor's too good to lose this game. But I did see an interesting stat, and I've used it a little bit. There's three teams in this tournament that are top 10 in offense, but like lower than 100 in defense. And teams that have done that have not made it past the Sweet 16 in the last like 20 years. So Baylor's one of them teams. They struggle on defense a little bit, um, but I do see them winning this game pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you. Apparently, I there was a guy I saw who took UC Santa Barbara, and he's actually a guy I watch. Like I feel like he's pretty reliable. He knows his stuff, and he took Santa Barbara over Baylor. I'm not gonna do the same.
I could see it. I really can see it.
The thing is, yeah, they just haven't played anybody. Like their toughest game was either, or you can argue between Duquesne and Fresno State. They beat Fresno State, lost to Duquesne, and outside of that, they just haven't seen a team like Baylor. So I'm gonna go Baylor for this one.
Missouri and Utah State. Missouri, another team with not great defense, good offense. I feel. I think I'm going. I've been on Missouri all week because everybody's on Utah State. But the more I've read into it, the more I've studied, I don't see a real way Missouri wins this game. Well, I'm back and forth on this one, so I'm not gonna give a definite pick right now. I'm leaning Utah State, but by Thursday I may be on Missouri. So I this is a back and forth pick for me. I haven't locked it in yet. I think in the end I am gonna go Missouri, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going Utah State as well. I've been on Utah State since the start. The Missouri people haven't really talked me onto them. I hear they're more physical. I hear better
Hodge, man,
offense.
Hodge is hot.
Hodges, if he's hot, he can have his night. Kobe Brown is a force. I just feel like Utah State is a bit more complete than Missouri. I feel like Missouri's also had a bunch of like weird locker room stuff going on. Guys like Isaiah Mosley being in and out the lineup. I doubt he'll play in the tournament. And he was a big piece for them for about half the year. So give me Utah State.
Arizona and Princeton, the 2-15 games. 2-15 game. Um, Arizona, we party, baby. Princeton's all about the books, not about the Bucks.
Hey,
Give me Arizona.
that Princeton hate is crazy, but I'm going Arizona. I feel like if mm, you put Princeton in like a 3-14, like if you put Princeton against Baylor, I might consider it.
Yeah, I agree.
But nah, not against Arizona.
Arizona's too good. Arizona's too good.
Arizona's too good. Yeah.
Arizona is the first team I think, and I'm gonna go ahead and say this: first team I think in the bracket that can actually beat Alabama. That Alabama will face off. I think they're the first team that can actually beat them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in this side of the bracket, I would either say it's probably Creighton can hold a fight. Baylor, I don't really know. Arizona definitely has the best chance, though.
Let's just go through the whole South and get our final 14 for the South,
Oh, okay.
and then we'll go down. Okay, so then we both had Alabama and West Virginia. I'm going Alabama in this one. No real question. I think it could be tough for a while, but I think Alabama pulls off with a 15 point win in the end.
Yeah,
They're just
West
too good,
Virginia's
man. They're just too
they're
good.
just bad. West Virginia doesn't help it being so bad defensively. Like they can score the ball, but not to the same extent of Alabama. Not consistent enough. Alabama is also going to play amazing D against a West Virginia team. So give me Alabama as well.
Um, San Diego State and Virginia for the both of us. Seen a lot of people going San Diego State here. Um, and I could definitely see it. But like we said, I think Virginia's hot, and their defense will get them there. I don't think it'll get them much. I don't think it'll get any further than San Diego State. But I just feel like they're a more complete team. They play better squads this year, and I just think they're better. So give me Virginia. So
Yeah,
I actually,
I have San Diego State. I do have San Diego State. But like the more I think about it, after I just looked at Virginia, how they've been playing recently, like yeah, they got the injury to Ben Vanderplas, which is a big one. But San Diego State hasn't shown me a ton. So I'm kinda on the I might change this pick by Thursday. I'll say that. This is not a definite pick. I have San Diego State for now. Unless something changes, I'm gonna stay with it. If there's an injury that comes out, who knows? I have San Diego State for now though.
Creighton and Baylor, and this comes back to that defensive stat for Baylor. I'm going Creighton in this one. That may be a surprise. Baylor's a good school. I mean, good team, good offense, but their defense is going to hurt them. And I got Creighton with the upset this game to move on.
Yeah, I after looking at some numbers and also that stat you just provided was amazing.
You're welcome.
And then some people I've been listening to are also kind of on the Creighton train. They've talked me on to Creighton, and Baylor hasn't done enough to be valued way more than a Creighton team, who I think is, like I said, they have a quality group of like 5 to 6 guys who are gonna, play D and score it well. So I'm gonna go Creighton as well. I had Baylor, but
I had
I'm gonna
Baylor
swap.
too. I had Baylor.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
Can't keep
Creighton.
them. Utah State and Arizona. This one won't be close to me. Arizona's good, man. They're really, really talented, and I don't see anybody stopping them right now. Especially
Especially,
Utah State.
yeah, not Utah State. Give me Arizona pretty easily.
That leaves us with the Sweet 16 of the South. Alabama and Virginia for me, Alabama and San Diego State for you. No question about it. I mean, obviously, I think Virginia's defense could keep them in this one and could keep it close. But I think if as long as Alabama hits their shots, their open shots, and I think they will. I think they're good enough to do that. I think they get past Virginia's defense and probably win this game by 8 to 15 points.
Yeah, I think Alabama and Virginia would actually be interesting.
I
I
do
don't
too.
have it picked. I have Alabama, San Diego State, and which is just kind of like pretty easily Alabama. I would like to see Alabama and Virginia play though.
Yeah, me too. Um, that leaves Arizona and Creighton. And then once again, Arizona's just too good, man. They're battle tested this time of year. They're ready to roll, and I think I could definitely see a world where Creighton wins this game, but I'm on the Arizona hype train as of right now.
Yeah, I would like to. I hope this game actually makes it to the Sweet 16. I'd like to see Creighton in Arizona, but I have Arizona as well. I don't have Creighton. Creighton's run ins here.
I could see it. I could see it for sure. Um, Alabama and Arizona in the Elite Eight for a chance to go to the Final Four. Um, I mean, I think Alabama's just too good once again. I mean, obviously they could have an off game. You can never predict anything when it comes to March, but I mean, I just think Alabama's way too good. You know, they're too talented. So give me Alabama to go to the Final Four from the South region.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. The reason I'm taking Alabama is really because Arizona's defense hasn't shown enough to me. Like they just recently beat a UCLA team who their offense is shaky at times, and the defense played good against UCLA, but I think Alabama is really in a whole nother tier. Like I can confidently say Alabama has the best offense in college basketball when it comes down to the pace they play at, ball movement, transition, how they run, the way they shoot the ball, all of that, the way they rebound, even like they just do everything right on offense. Arizona is also good, but Alabama's defense is also pretty solid. So I'm gonna give them the win here.
Yep. I feel like they're going to be picked in so many brackets it scares me. I mean, I would be willing to bet that in 75 to 90% of brackets, Alabama will be in the Final Four. I just think the path's too easy for them, man. I don't see anybody that's just back and forth. Like, you have your picks that are back and forth in this thing, and I just don't see anybody
Yeah,
that can even give them a test. So,
no,
yeah, besides Arizona, obviously, but that's the Elite Eight. I mean, once you get to the Elite Eight, there better be a test.
right.
But to the East, Purdue and the winner of Texas Southern and Fairleigh Dickinson. I think Texas Southern wins that game. I think they're the better squad. They also did not finish second in their conference, and so give me Texas Southern in the Final Four game. I mean, first four game. I keep messing that up. But then obviously Purdue in the 1 versus 16 game.
Yeah, I actually haven't really looked into the first four game. Let me do that. Texas Southern's favored
By how much?
two. People are going with Fairleigh Dickinson to win it. They're probably, and that's probably just off looking at Texas
Record.
Southern's record, which is really bad. But Texas Southern won the games they need. They not only did they beat Alcorn State, the one seed, they beat Grambling, who had a much better record than Alcorn State. So they really beat both of the best teams when they needed to. So I'm gonna go Texas Southern. I think they're just a team who knows how to win and make it
No
to
doubt.
March, and then get knocked out by Purdue in an embarrassing fashion.
That's right. Because nobody from Texas Southern is stopping Zach Eady. I'm sorry. You don't recruit well enough to stop him.
No,
Um,
unfortunate.
Memphis and FAU. This is a game, man. FAU people gonna look at their record and be like, "Ooh, FAU." Memphis, Kendrick Davis, tournament MVP coming up? Maybe, but he will be one of the best breakout players in the tournament. Not really a breakout, but just I think he'll have one of the best performances in the tournament. Especially, I'm taking his over on points. I don't care if it's 27.5. I'm taking his over on points against FAU. Doesn't play any defense. We play all offense at FAU, baby, and
And they run.
and they
They
run
run a
and they
deep
run
rotation, kind of like Charleston. They're kind of a
right.
team like Charleston. Memphis, I feel like Memphis is like one of the hottest teams, and their last three losses, I want to say, have just came against Houston, and then last two, and then they beat Houston this most recent time. So I think
Right,
Memphis, the only team that's stopping them is a one seed. I
right.
don't think a team like
And
FAU is going to contest
I
any of
don't
that.
think this one will be. I honestly really don't think this will be close. I'm taking the points. Surely Memphis is favored in this one. I haven't looked yet, but
Probably,
I
I'd
am
say
going to
probably
take
about like 4, 5,
five
maybe
and a half.
slightly more.
Yeah. I'm going points right
I
there. I
love
think Memphis
actually.
is just a better squad. And I am taking Kendrick Davis. This is a little early betting advice. Take Kendrick Davis points. Take them. I don't care if they're at 22.5. I don't care if they're at 23.5 or even 25.5. That's still too low. He's going to score 30 against FAU.
Memphis is favored by 2, so
That scares me, but not really. Kendrick Davis. Beautiful, beautiful show. In the next game we have Duke and Oral Roberts. I've seen a lot of people on Oral Roberts, which confuses me because Duke's they are the hottest team in the country. There's nobody hotter than Duke right now. And if you think Oral Roberts is going to stop Filipowski, you got another thing coming for you. Um, so give
they
me the
have a
Dukes.
guy though who can stop him. I'm not
Seven
picking Oral
five.
Roberts. 7'5", and he's shooting. He's Connor Vanover from Oral Roberts is tough. Averages 3 blocks, but I just think Filipowski's too skilled. He's
I
too
agree.
good.
I
Um,
agree with that.
so I'm gonna go Duke. I like Oral Roberts, but
I wish they had a different matchup.
I do too. I probably would have picked them if they weren't playing Duke.
That's the same with my wagon from Drake.
Is that the
I wish
same?
they. No, I'm just saying that's
Oh,
just the same thing. I wish they had a different matchup.
oh.
Tennessee versus Louisiana. Um, Tennessee. I haven't seen anything from Louisiana that impresses me. I know everybody was all about if this was South Alabama, if South Alabama won the Sun Belt and this was them, I could see it. But I just don't see anything that impresses me from Louisiana. They're just boring. Give me Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee is probably. I mean, looking at the spreads, they're one of the biggest favorites, and they're a 4 seed. I feel like we're overhyping Tennessee a little bit, at least in the betting market. Like, do they really win this game by 11? This Tennessee team, I don't know.
They're favored by 10.5.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I mean, it was 11. They're favored by
I
11.
I think it should be 8.5, but that's my opinion.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm going Tennessee. I don't think they'll win by 11, but we'll see.
Kentucky versus Providence. I've seen some people take Providence. I don't know why. Kentucky's hot. I know they lost to Vanderbilt. I get that. They're still Kentucky in March, and they are prone to upset sometimes, but it's not happening. And Providence is also tailing off. They've tailed off worse than just about anybody in the country. They've played terrible the last 2 weeks. Give me Kentucky 100 times over again.
Yeah, give me Kentucky as well. It's for the same reasons. Providence is playing bad. Kentucky's playing good.
Um, Kansas State and Montana State. I don't know if you've been on this side of sports TikTok, but I've seen so many people take Montana State over Kansas State in this one, and I don't know why. I mean, they say Montana State is experienced, they're talented. I get that, but Kansas State's pretty good. I mean, Keontae Johnson can play. Uh, I don't know. I don't know how
Experience
to.
in what? Like how they just have
I,
like
I guess they've played in it. Maybe I don't know. That's what I've heard. I haven't done much research on Montana State, but I just don't think there's any way Kansas State loses this
I mean,
game.
when I look at if we're talking about experience from like a team standpoint, I'm seeing a whole lot of juniors and like two seniors. Not saying you can't be experienced as a junior, but like they haven't played a soul. They played Arizona and lost by 20. They played Oregon and lost by 30. And that's like the only teams I can say that's really decent. They went to a double overtime game against Weber State in our tournament. And then they kind of got an easy path in our tournament. They played an 8 seed and then 3 seed Weber State, who was double overtime, and then a 9 seed Northern Arizona team who they upset. They upset the 1 seed Eastern Washington. So I don't know. Give me Kansas State. Really not close.
Michigan State and USC. I've mentioned this yesterday on the podcast. Um, Give me Sparty in March. Give me Tom Izzo. Give me everything about that bunch. They're better than USC in my opinion. I'm taking Sparty here. I think you probably will take USC, but I'm taking Sparty.
No, I'm going with Michigan State again. I think USC is one of those teams that could easily win a game, but Michigan State actually is experienced. Not saying USC isn't, but like USC doesn't have that same level of being here that Michigan State does. So I'm gonna agree with you.
Yeah. Marquette and Vermont. You mentioned this one could be close. I think it can be too, but I'm going Vermont. I'm going Marquette. Sorry, Marquette.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. Marquette is just there's no way they should lose this. But a lot of people do have Vermont covering the spread though. That might be a quick easy bag if you have Marquette or sorry Vermont plus 11.
Yeah. I actually didn't have an upset in in the first rounds of that region, so that scares me a little bit because I think there will be one. I don't know who will have it, but um, it scares me that I picked all the higher seeds in that one, and you did too. Purdue versus Memphis. Uh, I'm going Purdue here. They're just too good. Memphis is obviously hot. Still taking the over in Kendrick Davis here, but I don't think they can pull this one off. I want them to. I would love to see Memphis win this game. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, I'm going with the upset. I'm going with
Yep.
Memphis. Hottest team or one of the hottest outside of like Duke. I think you could say Texas is in that conversation. I think it's Memphis. And Purdue just hasn't really shown me enough to hold a Memphis team defensively. Like Purdue is going to slow the game down, which is fine. But Memphis, they played against harder defenses, like a team like Houston. And I'm bringing up Houston a lot because Houston has been the consensus number one for the majority of the year. And yeah, Purdue has Zach Edey. Memphis has DeAndre Williams, who, yeah, he's not to the same caliber, just size-wise. He's going to get Zach Edey in foul trouble if he's guarding him because he's an aggressive, downhill guy. He's good around the rim. He can shoot the three. You got Kendrick Davis, who's going to be killing whichever freshman guard, two of them starting for Purdue. Let's remember that. They look real bad in the Big Ten tournament. They barely pulled out a Penn State game. If Zach Edey doesn't drop 30 and 15, they don't win that game at all.
Yeah, Braden
So
Smith was terrible.
Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer, both of them, both freshmen, they're not good under the pressure. And I think Memphis has that. Kendrick Davis being a senior, DeAndre Williams, I want to say, is a senior as well. He's been
He's
there
a
for
senior.
while.
He's 26 years old.
He's old. Cool. He's going to get the job done. Give me Memphis, bro. Give me Memphis.
Wow. I like it. I like it. Memphis is deep too, not to mention. I mean, they're
Yeah,
very
they
deep.
run 10 guys.
Next matchup, 5 versus 4 game, Duke and Tennessee. Duke's just too hot, man. I mean, I don't see them cooling down, man. I really don't. I don't. I know they're very high. I mean, a lot of people are on Oral Roberts, but the ones that aren't have Duke going a long ways, and I can't see Purdue beating Duke. I think Duke shoots it too well. I think they're just too good on both sides of the court, and give me Duke. I just think they're better. I'm not. I'm not talking about Purdue. They're better in Tennessee, and they're going to beat Tennessee pretty handedly. I think. I think the spread in this one will be about 6.5 towards Duke. That's probably exaggerating. 3.5. But
No,
I
yeah,
would take
they're overrating Tennessee really bad.
they
I'd
are.
probably say it's probably if they don't have it as a pick 'em, it's probably one in favor of Duke. Honestly.
I'm going points easily.
Yeah, I think you should. I'm gonna go Duke as well. Like I said, I don't really like Tennessee. They haven't been great recently. They look shaky. They just lost to a Missouri team, which Duke is like not 10 times. They're a lot better than Missouri though. So
They
I'm
are.
gonna go with Duke. At least the way Duke is playing now. If they keep this up, they should win this game pretty easily.
Right. Kentucky and Kansas State. This is where I have Kansas State going down. I think Kentucky, and again, it looks like picking the brand. Well, I am. I'm buying into the brand in this bracket. I am. I just think that Kentucky is too well coached. They're better than Kansas State. Kansas State was picked last in the Big 12 to start the season. Obviously, that goes a lot off our brand too. But Kentucky is the better squad. They're the better all around squad. Tashiway is going to eat whoever's on him. He's going to eat their lunch money or take their lunch money, not eat it. Um, but give me Kentucky pretty easily. I would say they're not going to be favored, but I don't even need the points. Give me the money line.
I'm gonna go Kentucky. I think they would be favored.
I mean, I
I'm
could
not gonna
definitely
lie.
see it. It's probably going to
Just
be 1.5,
because
2 either
because
way.
I looked at the Kansas State and Montana State spread, and Kansas State is only like 7.5 or 8.5, something like that. So I'm gonna go Kentucky because I think they're gonna overrate. I'm not gonna say they're overrating Kentucky because they are playing good. I'm also going Kentucky with the upset as well, or upset, seed upset, whatever. Kansas State
Right.
doesn't have defense, while Kentucky does, and I feel like defense wins championships. So, and the better team playing right now, Kansas State, has been inconsistent all year. They were great at the start. I feel like kind of like Providence, they're kind of tailing off a bit from where they were, and I feel like Kentucky's only getting better. Like, yeah, they lost to a Vanderbilt team in the SEC tournament. It was basically a home game for Vanderbilt. The tournament was in Nashville, so I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Kentucky with that.
Yeah. My next game is something I'm considering. It's kind of funky. Michigan State and Marquette. Now, I have Marquette, but for some reason, something just has told me that Michigan State's going to win this game. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm feeling this. I just started feeling this. I had Marquette easily in this one. And I just have this odd feeling that just Michigan State this time of year, tough to beat. I think I'm going with the upset, dude. I think I'm going with the upset
Mm.
here. Give me Michigan State. Give me
It don't
Sparty.
sound bad. It feels like this is something I could see like waking up or like waking up the next morning and seeing like Michigan State defeats Marquette 76-72. Like
Right.
that feels realistic.
I just
I'm not
I
gonna
was just
go with
thinking
it.
about it.
I think Marquette is they've proven this year that they're hard to just beat. Like they might play a close game, which they've done time and time again, but it feels like they always pull it out. They played in a tougher conference than Michigan State, in my opinion. And they've been better in a tougher conference. So I think Marquette is just they're gonna slightly pull it out in a close one, to me.
It's like you said. I just started feeling. I was looking at this game. I don't think I've looked at it really. I would just pick Marquette because I was like, okay, Marquette's pretty good. They're 2 seed in this one. I don't really think there's a chance. Thinking about it, dude, like I think it's right. It feels right. It's just like I feel like I could see that headline. Like I feel like I can in this game. Like is Marquette really the better squad? Like I can't watch Michigan State and Marquette. Like thinking about the bottom line and Marquette being the better squad just doesn't feel right. Give me Michigan State. It's just off the field. I could obviously get it very wrong,
I mean,
but
it's March, like we said. Anything can happen in March.
I think I'm gonna do that in my other bracket though. In my first bracket, I think I'm going Marquette just to be safe because I am gonna go Marquette. My pick's Marquette, but Michigan State, don't give up on Michigan State in this game. They could definitely win this game.
I like it.
Sorry to contradict myself. I'm just nervous about getting that one right.
I like it.
And then if we have Purdue and Duke, and I've already touched on it. Duke's winning this game. I've already said why I feel they're going to win this game. Give me Duke.
Yeah, so I have Duke and Memphis. This is where I think Memphis run ends. Unfortunately, I just think Duke has too many guys who have been there. They're always, I'm kind of buying into brand, like you said earlier. Duke is the guys that's always in the conversation for best team. They're playing like the best team or one of the best. So I'm gonna say Kendrick Davis and Memphis Hopes. They run dry to the hands of the Blue Devils, unfortunately.
Kentucky and Marquette. This is another game, man. I'm just like, can Marquette really take down these two back to back? I do have them doing that, but I can see either of these two beating Marquette. Honestly, I could see either of these two taking out Michigan State or Kentucky taking out Marquette. And I want to pick Kentucky to take down Marquette, but I'm scared that they're not going to be able to get past Kansas State, and it's going to hurt me in the long run. I'm gonna go Marquette just to be safe, but I could definitely see the other.
Yeah, I'm going Marquette as well. I feel like the one team or the one type of team that Kentucky struggled to go against throughout the year, and it stayed true. Mainly Vanderbilt, a team that plays just like Vanderbilt. I feel like that's Marquette. Marquette runs a lot through a lead guard, very quick, good shooting team, and I feel like Marquette is just slightly better defensively than a team like Vanderbilt. So if we're comparing play styles and logic into it, Vanderbilt beat Kentucky twice. I don't think Marquette. I don't think Kentucky is going to be able to pull that one off there. So I'm also going to go. I'm going to go Marquette. Moving on to the Elite Eight round. To face Duke.
Yep, Duke and Marquette. And once again, I just can't get off the Duke train, man. They're going to the Final Four. I just got this feeling they had, they were doubted all year, and those 5 stars take over eventually. They're talented. Lively's playing well. Filipowski's playing well. Roach is distributing the ball very well.
Yeah.
Give me Duke, man. They're better than Marquette in my opinion, and I think they win this game.
Yeah, I think Marquette's going to fold. I think Marquette has kind of been a little overrated the whole year. Now, it's hard to say that with them making it to the Elite Eight. So, it's well-deserved, but I think Duke has the better roster talent-wise. And I think they've went through the adversity of being bad. Marquette hasn't really had to face, losing consistently, honestly. There was a time where Duke was losing. They'd win a few, lose maybe one or two in a row. How do you face the adversity and come through? And I think a lot of that is coaching. A lot of that is mindset. I think Duke is going to have the better mindset. And I think they're hotter again. Like I said, I think
agree.
Duke rides this hot streak out to
at
least the Elite Eight. And I got them winning this.
And if you can go through Michigan State, Kentucky, and Duke, they may win the national championship.
You're talking about
Could you imagine? I mean, Marquette's bracket is ridiculous.
They do have a tough path, and it kind of sucks for them because I feel like they're one of the newer, dominant teams, and then they have to run through this. It's a bit
But it's all
unfortunate for
about. I
them.
mean, if they can run through the first two, I mean, they could definitely beat Duke. But I just think they're going to be just exhausted by the time they get to Duke from playing all the teams they got to play, and they're going to be in battle after battle. Like you said, I think Vermont's a battle for them. So I think it's just battle after battle after battle, and eventually Duke's just going to be too good for them.
I agree.
Houston and Northern Kentucky in the Midwest region. Houston's obviously going to win this game. Northern Kentucky will put up a great fight in this game, I think. For a while, I think it'll be close at half. But
Really.
in the end, Houston, I think it'll be close at half if Sasser doesn't play, if Marcus Sasser doesn't play. But if he plays, it probably won't be close.
I will
You give me,
say, oh, I forgot Marcus Sasser was hurt. I did forget about that.
he didn't play against Memphis.
Wow. Um. Anyways, I think Houston wins this game pretty easily. But I will say, from watching Northern Kentucky, the few games of the tournament, their conference tournament, the way they move on defense is crazy. Like they're real quick, real like instinctive on defense. They're one of the better defensive teams I've seen in college basketball. So I'm still going to take Houston. I don't mean they're going to win, but
Marquez, I think his name Marquez Warwick for Northern Kentucky, can shoot the lights out.
he
So if
can.
they get hot, there's a shot. There's a shot there. But I think this is the most likely 16-1 upset. I don't think Northern Kentucky should have got a 16 seed though. I think they should have got a 15. Um, but that's just my opinion. But I think this is the closest 116 game. But give me Houston.
Yep.
Iowa and Auburn. This one's tough. They're both had mediocre years, and in their respective conferences. I went Iowa in this one. I think they're better than Auburn. I don't know how deserving Auburn is of it, even a at large bid, especially a 9 seed. Iowa either, but just give me Iowa in this game.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are on Iowa. I'm actually going the opposite way. Auburn, they've been up and down the whole year, but I mean, same thing with Iowa. This is really just off feel. I feel like Iowa is one of those teams where, like, yeah, it's March, they can get hot, they can score it, but they haven't been consistent enough with it all year. And Auburn is a good defensive team. So I think Auburn can pull this one out. It'll be really tight, and it's a 9-8 game. It wouldn't shock me if it went the other way. But I'm gonna lean Auburn here.
Right. Um, Miami and Drake. Okay, we'll just talk about both of these games. Miami and Drake and Indiana Kent State. These are another two 5-12, 4-13 games that I could see going either way, which is crazy to say. Man, I think it really, really, really depends on whether Omir plays or not. If Omir doesn't play, I think Drake wins this game. But if Omir can play, he can. I don't know his status, but he's a very vital part of that Miami team. And Drake's experience, they're really talented. They're really good. To be a 12 seed, I think that was pretty disrespectful. I think they should even be a 11 seed. But give me. I just don't know, man. I'm so on the fence with this one. I want to go Drake so bad, but also I just know how good Miami can be, and it just feels like right there's no right answer right now to me. I'll give my
Mm,
pick obviously on our Thursday show. We'll do a morning or whatever, and I'll give my final pick. But as of right now, I do have Miami, but that is very, very, very likely to change.
hmm Yeah, I'm gonna go with the upset. I think of all the 12 games, this is the one that I'm gonna go with. I like Drake. Miami, dealing with the injuries. Miami's also a team that doesn't play much defense. And Drake at least tries. Drake ran through their conference tournament where they played some decent teams. They played a Murray State team who is okay. And then they beat a Southern Illinois team who's been defensively one of the best teams in college basketball. The Southern Illinois team has a win against Oklahoma State, kept it close, and beat an Indiana State team who's also really good. And they also beat that Drake team earlier, and Drake smoked them. They won by 13, and then they killed Bradley, the regular season conference champion. So I think Drake is getting really hot at the right time. Miami dealing with the injury to Omer. They've looked vulnerable recently. Close games against Pitt, lost to Florida State, close game against Wake, and then the loss to Duke. I think if there's any time to pick it, now is the time. So I'm gonna go Drake.
Yeah, you with what you just spilled out for me. I do have Drake at this time. Um, just because reading they don't even I mean they don't think there's much of a chance nor Chad Omer's going to play.
Mm,
Um, they're saying he may miss it. I haven't seen any good news. And Larinaga said there's no update. So when there's no update, he's more than likely not going to see the court. And what is sad to say because I've been high on this Miami team all year, but I think I'm going Drake in this one. But I just changed that pick. I could change it by Thursday, obviously, but we'll see. Next, Indiana and Kent State. Man, man, oh man. Did I just go with the double upset? I want to, but I don't know, man. Indiana's good, but Kent State's good too. Uh,
mhm.
you go ahead with yours. I'm trying to make a decision.
Um, I think the Kent State team is good, but I think we're underrating this Indiana team a little bit. Like, yeah, the loss to Penn State in the conference tournament looks bad. Penn State is very hot right now, and Indiana just ran through a stretch of games that, like, they had the loss to Iowa, which they got blown out and they got embarrassed in. They before that they beat a Purdue team on the road. They eased past Maryland, and it was tough for a while, but they won. They beat Maryland by 10. Once again, Kent State hasn't really faced anybody at least. No, they did. I'm hating. They lost to Gonzaga by 7, and they lost to Houston by 5. And the night where Houston shot the ball 16 of 50. I think Trey Jackson Davis. I don't really. That's the thing. I don't think Indiana or Kent State has a guy who can contain Trey Jackson Davis. Is really what it comes down to. So that's where I have to lean. I could see it being close though. It'll definitely be a good game, but I'm gonna lean
Yeah,
Indiana.
yeah, I'm gonna go Indiana here as of right now. Um, I just think they're one of the most complete teams in the tournament from 1 to 5. Um, I don't know if I mean I could definitely see Kent State winning this game, but I'm just back and forth on that one. There's some tough games the committee put together this year. I'm props to them because this has been one of the most like confusing brackets I've ever filled out.
It is tough.
Um,
It is tough.
Iowa State versus the winner of Mississippi State and Pitt, which will definitely be Mississippi State. Um, so I got Iowa State in this one. I don't really see either of those teams giving them trouble. I think Mississippi State can keep it close for a while, but I think Iowa State wins this one. I've seen a lot of people on Mississippi State or the winner of that game, and they think Iowa State's overrated. But I'm gonna go Iowa State in this one.
Yeah, I think Iowa State is good enough to get past this round. Like, if Mississippi State, which I think Mississippi State pulls it out, I think they can make it interesting. I just don't think they score well enough to hold Iowa State. So I'm gonna go Iowa State here as well.
Xavier and Kennesaw State. Xavier, 3-14 game. Kennesaw State's lost. I mean, they beat Liberty twice. That's their best wins. They lost to VCU by 3. They lost to Indiana by 14. Lost to San Diego State by 34. just give me Xavier. I mean, there's no really question here. Xavier's battle tested. They've won some good games this year. They've beat UConn twice. They beat Marquette once. They beat Creighton twice, and they beat West Virginia and Providence twice. So give me Xavier in this one.
Yeah, I don't think there will be an upset here. Xavier just has the better talent. Kennesaw State just not there yet.
I agree. Texas A&M, Penn State. I feel like everybody's on A&M. I think people think A&M can make a run. I do too, but I am going Penn State in this one. They're hot right now.
Hmm.
You could argue that A&M is too, but Penn State plays pretty good on both ends of the floor, and I just think Jalen Pickett will be the difference in this one. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Interesting. I think both these teams are very hot right now. Like outside of losses to Mississippi State on the road, and then an Alabama team in the conference tournament, Texas A&M has looked on fire. They beat that same Alabama team at home, by the way. Beat a Vanderbilt team in Nashville, which for the SEC tournament. Penn State at the same time, beating teams Illinois, Northwestern, Indiana, all close games, all games, they're not really supposed to win. They were down to Purdue for a majority of the game, which is okay. But I feel like Texas A&M, the thing with those three teams I just named that Penn State beat is they all kind of run, quicker, not great defensively, while Purdue is good defensively. And they really only got beat by Zach Edey. But the fact that they got beat how they did, with it only being Zach Edey, with the three starting guards shooting a combined 2 for 22, or sorry, 2 for 20 from the field, and they lost the game, is rough. And A&M, I think A&M is too good. They have the experienced guards, guys like Dexter Dennis, guys like Wade Taylor. They've been consistent the whole year. I'm gonna go A&M.
Yeah, this one's subject to change for me as well. Um, but Texas and Colgate 2-15, no question here. Texas for me, not even a concern.
Yeah, give me Texas. Not close.
Houston and Iowa. Houston for me, Iowa's not going to make this game close at all, if you ask me. Um, so give me Houston. As
Um,
long as Sasser
yeah,
plays. If Sasser doesn't
Houston and
play,
Auburn. Either way, either if they play Iowa or Auburn, I think Houston is just defense is too good. So give me Houston.
Drake and Indiana for the both of us right now. I'm going Indiana in this one. Trace Jackson Davis going to be the factor. The factor in the win here. Give me Indiana to this Sweet
Yeah,
16.
I have Drake doing it again. I have Drake beating Indiana, but this one is subject to change for me as well. Drake, I don't know who they have who's really going to hold Trey Jackson Davis. Now, I feel like from a complete squad standpoint, they're neck and neck. It's just, when you got that guy on the other side, that's a Big Ten Player of the Year candidate. He didn't win it. He should have, in my opinion. I think he was just as good as Zach Edey. Led his team
Did you
to what?
did you know Drake beat Mississippi State this year?
I didn't know that. Oh, I think I did see that when looking at it, but who really cares? I'm gonna go
I was
Drake though. Drake slightly, but this one could change by Thursday.
Drake to the natty, baby. Um, Iowa State versus Xavier. I was thinking about going Iowa State here, but I think there's a possibility that Iowa State doesn't even make it out the first round. Xavier, they just feel like the more complete team. They feel better. They feel like they're. It feels like they're just a better squad overall. So give me Xavier in this one.
Yeah, both of these teams are really inconsistent in my opinion, but I am gonna give the lean to Xavier. They've been slightly better recently. Um, yeah, I'm gonna take Xavier. Next game is gonna be uh, he has Penn State and Texas. I have Texas A&M and Texas. And I'm leaning Texas. I just think Texas is too hot recently. They just won the Big 12 tournament, which is probably the best conference. All right. Probably the best conference in outside of the Big East. You could argue either or, in my opinion. But yeah, just give me Texas.
I'm going Texas against Penn State as well. I do think it can be close. I think Texas is hot, man. Them and Duke are probably the two hottest teams in the country right now. And Vanderbilt. Sorry, Vanderbilt's in the NIT and they're hot. But um give me Texas here. Not really too much concern for me as far as that goes.
Yeah. And then Houston and Indiana for you, Houston and Drake for me. This is where Drake's Cinderella run comes to an end. I just don't think they haven't played a team like Houston yet. So
If no Sasser, does Drake have a good shot at winning this game?
with no Sasser, I'd probably pick him to win.
I could see it too.
If there's no Marcus Sasser, I would pick Drake to win.
I agree. I agree with that statement. Texas and Xavier, um, could see it going either way really here. But I think the line will be 3.5 Texas at least. Um, but I am going Texas. Uh, they're better. They're hotter. I really like what they're doing over there right now, and so give me Texas.
Yeah, I'm going Texas as well. One of my favorite teams. They just have the good mix of great offense, very good defense. Xavier doesn't really have that same defensive intensity that Texas brings. So I'm gonna go Texas.
I like it. I like it. Houston and Texas for a shot at the Final Four. Going, I'm going Texas. I think they're better. The Battle of Texas. This whole region is the Battle of Texas. Texas A&M, Texas,
It
um,
is.
and Houston. So I mean, the battle for Texas, and Texas comes out on top. There's a
And where
reason
is
they're
this
named
game being
Texas,
played at?
not Texas.
Is it not?
Kansas City, Missouri. So no Texas.
Why did I think this was in Texas? Give me Texas though. I'm taking Texas over Houston. The Marcus Sasser injury concerns me, even if they do make it this far, because I think they can without. They're gonna need Sasser at full strength for this game. Um, Hopefully we'll get an update before Thursday to really know. I still have Texas winning this though.
I agree. I agree. So my Final Four so far is Alabama, Duke, and Texas. Yours is also Alabama, Duke, and Texas, which is kind of crazy. But the West region, Kansas versus Howard. Um, Kansas, obviously. I don't think there's much of a shot here for Howard.
Yeah, let me see what the line. I want to say the line I saw was Kansas 22 or 22 and a half, which I'd say is pretty accurate. But I could easily see Kansas winning by 22. Kansas could win by 30. No offense to Howard, but I'm pretty sure. Oh no, actually, I'm crazy. I thought they had a negative record.
No, that's Texas Southern.
Yeah, but I just thought Howard did too. I thought Howard just pulled it out in their tournament, which they did, but they were actually good in the year. So good for Howard. But yeah, give me Kansas.
Um, Arkansas and Illinois. Another weird 8-9 matchup that I don't feel even goes right. These are like the most identical teams of all time. Uh, they both allow 67 points per game from their opponents, and they both score 74 points per game. This is definitely the most money line call of a game of all time. Um, but in the end, I just think Arkansas is a little more ready for this one. I don't know. I could still flip my pick, without a doubt. But give me Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm going Arkansas as well. I think Arkansas is a bit overrated, but I also think Illinois is the same thing.
Yeah.
And Arkansas has a lot of decent wins and not really any terrible loss. I feel like a loss to Illinois here, while it wouldn't be terrible, it would just kind of like it would shock me. So I'm gonna go Arkansas.
Yeah. St. Mary's and VCU. This is an upset. Give me VCU. There. This was like a. I think if you'd have put Drake, I think if you'd have put College of Charleston, and I think if you'd have put Oral Roberts, I would have picked every 12 seed over St. Mary's. And that sounds crazy to say, but I think I would have. Um, I think St. Mary's is very overrated. Um, so give me VCU. The boys are back in the tournament. I don't know. I think it's the first time since COVID when they got kicked out of it because of a COVID protocol. They're gonna be ready to roll, man. They're a little. They're gonna have some fire behind them. Still a little mad about that, probably. Give me VCU.
I'm going VCU the upset as well. I think two super defensive teams, slow teams. VCU, I just feel like has they play. I you can argue. I think you can make an argument that the A10 from top to bottom is a better conference than the West Coast conference. Like, yeah, you have Gonzaga, and you have teams like BYU who are solid, Santa Clara who's okay, but in the actual, I feel like if you match them up, the A10 is slightly better. St. Mary's has a win over Gonzaga, which is impressive. But I feel like when it comes to being consistent, they're not really that. VCU has dealt with some slow defensive teams. They played that same type. I'm gonna go VCU just off the field, really. Also,
Okay. UConn and Iona. UConn is going to win this game, and I've seen people take Iona. Iona. I don't know why. I really don't. UConn.
Rick
This
Pitino,
same UConn. Do what?
Rick Pitino.
Yeah,
That's
I
why.
get that, but this same UConn team dominated Alabama. Won by 15. They beat Marquette. They beat Creighton. They beat Iowa State. They beat Providence twice. They beat Oklahoma State. I mean, they're very talented. They've got great wins. Iona's best win is Vermont by 21. 15 seed in the tournament. Give me UConn. Not very even close. I would take UConn points in this
Yeah, give me UConn as well. UConn has been very good recently. Iona's been good the whole year. They just don't really play anybody. Is my thing.
one. Yeah, that's my thing as
I
well.
don't think they'll be
Um,
ready.
TCU will take their 6th seed. They will take on the winner of Arizona State, Nevada. Game will be held tomorrow night, I believe. Right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, it's not tonight. It's tomorrow night.
Gotcha. Going Arizona State in that one. Still, neither of them are gonna really. And I know we seem like Big 12 homers here, but they're not gonna contest TCU. Um, give me TCU in this first game.
Yeah, give me TCU. I think of the Big 12 teams here, TCU is probably the weakest, but even still, I think the Big 12 is that much better than the either one of the Pac-12 or Mountain West. So it really doesn't matter. I'm going TCU.
Yeah. I just feel like TCU is just the Big 12, man. I feel like the Big 12 is going to have a really good tournament. I don't think the winner comes out of the Big 12, but I do think they have a good tournament. Gonzaga and Grand Canyon. Gonzaga's the better squad here, obviously. I don't know much about Grand Canyon. I do know that they're not as good as Gonzaga, and that's really all that matters in my mind. Gonzaga allows more points, but they also score 12 more points. Nevada beat Grand Canyon, or Texas beat Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon's best win, Sam Houston State. Give me Gonzaga. The 28-5 Zags are gonna dominate this game.
Yeah, give me Gonzaga. This I think is probably the biggest blowout of the tournament outside of Kansas and Howard. I think this will be the one.
What about Alabama and Texas Southern?
Actually, no. I think Texas Southern will. They won't keep it close. They'll probably lose by like 18.
Well, that's actually wrong because Alabama won't play Texas Southern. They will play Texas A&M Corpus Christi
Oh,
or
okay.
SEMA. But
Mm, actually, no. That'll be the biggest blow. You're right.
Northwestern and Boise State. I went Boise State here in the 10 spot. I'm very hesitant because I have picked three Mountain West teams, and they haven't won a game since 2019 in the tournament. So I'm pretty skeptical about going them so much. I just feel like they're better than Northwestern. I think Northwestern is very overrated. I think I'd pick like 5 Big Ten schools before I picked them to win a first round game. So, I'm going Boise here. I don't know why. Just it's kind of something I feel.
Yeah, I'm going Boise State as well. Northwestern again, tailing off bad. Boise State's been consistent, pretty consistent the whole year. They did, am I not mistaken, they lost in, was it the first round or the second round of their tournament? Second round to Utah
Boise,
State,
they
right?
lost to Utah State. Yeah, they beat New Mexico in the first game.
Yeah, Boise State's been solid enough. Northwestern hasn't really played to their standards, so I'm gonna go with the upset in Boise State.
Oh, sorry, I'm making a prize picks entry. Um, UCLA and North Carolina Asheville. A lot of people on the Bulldogs of Asheville. Not me. The Bruins are far too talented for that. Um, they're gonna try to avenge their Pac-12 championship loss. Give me in the run, not obviously against Asheville, and it doesn't really matter. Give me UCLA.
Give me UCLA. Not much to talk about.
Close or not close?
Mm, I mean, do you think 15 is close?
For a 2:15 game, yes. Well, not really actually.
No, I mean, either way, I think they'll win by 15. I think Asheville will make it decently interesting, actually, but that's just because the way UCLA kind of plays. They play slower, you know. Asheville likes to. Asheville's a good offense. I
Oh
just
yeah,
don't
for
think they'll be
sure.
good enough.
Um, then we have moving on Kansas and Arkansas. I think we picked the exact same bracket there. That's funny. Um, Kansas and Arkansas. Give me Kansas by. I think this will be one of the biggest. I think this will be a big blowout. I think this one won't be close at all. I think this is 15 to 20 points.
I gotta disagree. I mean, I'm taking Kansas. Don't get it twisted, but I don't. I think Arkansas can. Arkansas is a March team. I think they'll keep it. And Kansas hasn't really been blowing teams out the whole year anyway. I don't think that's going to change with Arkansas. I'll take Kansas by like 10.
I respect it. VCU and UConn. VCU's not good enough to win this. I mean, they're good enough to win this game, but I just UConn is kind of a wagon, and I think they're kind of getting hot again. They almost took down Marquette. Give me UConn. I could even see UConn moving on further, but I'm going UConn in this one.
Yeah, UConn, just VCU's good, but I don't think they're to the level of the UConn team that's playing good right now, also.
And it feels better that UConn. If we just have Villanova in this tournament, if we have vanilla Villanova and UConn in this tournament, March would feel right again. UConn's the tournament team. I'm glad they're back somewhat. And anyway, TCU and Gonzaga. Give me the Zags, baby. TCU doesn't have anything for the Zags. I mean, I think this game will be close. Obviously, the Zags on offense, man, they're just far too talented, far too talented. And I think they take down. I think they take down TCU pretty easily.
Yeah, I think this could be a blowout, like by like 15. Gonzaga's just that squad. TCU is okay, but not good enough.
Right. And then we got UCLA and Boise State. Um, UCLA in this one not very close. Would you agree with that?
Not close. UCLA
No,
by 10 to 15.
I agree. Kansas and UConn. This will be a really good game. I really think this will be a really good game. I think UConn has a good shot of winning this game, but Kansas is too good. I hope Coach Self is back. Give me
He's back.
Kansas.
He'll be back for the
Oh,
first game.
okay. Give me Kansas.
Give me Kansas. I don't really think this will be that close either. I think this would be like 10.
Wow. Gonzaga and UCLA. You can give your take on this first.
I'm going to go Gonzaga over UCLA. Um, if I'm not mistaken, they played earlier in the year and Gonzaga won by like 20. Now, obviously, that was early in the year, but I feel like, if anything, that was when Gonzaga was looking the most shaky.
They didn't play.
They didn't? Who did
No,
Gonzaga
sir.
play?
They played Alabama and won by 10.
No,
They played
Gonzaga beat.
they played Purdue and lost by 18. They played Texas, lost by 19, lost to Baylor, and they beat Kentucky. Uh, and they beat Xavier.
Really? They didn't play UCLA. I mean, either way, I still have Gonzaga. I don't really care if they played or not. Um, I think Gonzaga is the better team. UCLA has looked a bit too shaky, especially towards the end of the year for me. So I'm gonna give the edge to Drew Timmy and the Zags.
Kansas and Gonzaga. This is a great game. I hope we get it. I really hope we get it. Um, I
You
know
didn't
we
even
have
say your
different.
pick.
I said Gonzaga, didn't I?
No, you
Okay,
told me to
I'm
go.
going Gonzaga. I'm going Gonzaga.
There
Um,
you go.
I do think there's a good chance UCLA can win that game, but I like Gonzaga better. Um, UCLA and I mean Gonzaga and Kansas. Give me Kansas in this one. I know we have separate different picks here, but I think Kansas is just an all around complete squad. I do have some stats that hold me back from picking Kansas here, but I think they'll overcome them stats. I think they have a very good shot at going back to back.
I wouldn't be shocked if they did, but I am gonna go with Gonzaga. I want to see the Zags at least make a run for that national championship while Drew Timmy is still there. So this is really off of just wanting to see them do well. Kansas hasn't been that type of team who's looked great against these better teams. Really, the main one being like Texas, but like in being in the Big 12, they play a lot of very solid teams. Outside of Texas, I don't really think any of them are to the level of Gonzaga. Personally, they played. I guess the other ones being Indiana, they beat by 20. Indiana is not on the level of Gonzaga. Neither is Tennessee. Then they beat Duke by 5, which, if I'm not mistaken, never mind. I thought they were at home for that, but they weren't. So I don't care. Going Zags.
Um, then in the final four, we have our final fours. I can actually show y'all our graphic. We have a graphic. There's my final four. There's Darren's final four. Cool little graphic I made earlier. Um, but I have Alabama and Duke. I have Alabama in this one. Duke's magical run finally ends. I think Alabama's just like we talked about. I just think they're way too good, and I think they win this game.
Yeah, give me Alabama as well. Just too high powered for Duke.
Then Kansas and Texas. Who's your pick?
For you?
Who's your pick for Kansas and Texas? We both have. Oh, you have
No.
Gonzaga and Texas.
I have Texas beating Gonzaga. Just think Texas is too good defensively.
For the national title, I will be having, as my second team to make it, Kansas will beat Texas in a rematch for the fourth time they will play, and Kansas will make the series even on the season and head to the national championship. I'm riding. Wow, I'm riding the Jayhawks. Um, give me Alabama and Kansas for the national title. I'd pay a bunch of money to see that in person.
Yeah, I've got Alabama, Texas.
This is
Um,
not football, Darren. I'm just playing. Very, very good candidates for this to be in the national title.
yeah, I'm gonna go. I have Texas winning it. I have Texas stopping Alabama. I just think Alabama hasn't reached that level yet. I don't know if they, they can score with the best of them. I think Texas isn't far off. And I also think Texas has the type of defense that can cause Alabama problems. They have good bigs, good in the paint, perimeter guys, Serge Jabari Rice. They got Marcus Carr, who's one of the top guards in the Big 12. Tyrese Hunter can, if he's hot, he can give you 15, 20. I just don't know if Alabama's deep enough to contest the bigs and just the guard play from Texas. So I'm giving the edge to the Longhorns. They're my national champion.
My national champion, Alabama. Did I say that already?
No.
My national champion is Alabama. I feel premature picking that because I like you said I don't know that they're ready for that yet, and I could definitely see them losing even in the Sweet 16. But I don't know, man. I just think Brandon Miller is too good, far too good of a player to be stopped by most people. What does worry me, like you said, is the depth. The guard play. I don't know how dominant it will be this time of year. I think Alabama's good on both sides though, and they are my pick as of right now. And I think they'll remain my pick to win the national title. Not my second bracket. I'm gonna make. I mean, obviously you got to have a different winner in your second bracket, but I'm going with Alabama in the first in my bracket. I'm going Alabama. Subject to change, but probably won't. I just think the path's too easy, man. I don't think they're going to be as beat up as some of these teams will be by the time they get there.
I agree.
So, I have four. I actually wanted to give some names to these crazy behind regions we have. Alabama's region is the most. I'm gonna say it's the most predictable region. You could say that it's not because of the 12 and the 13 seeds in Furman and Charleston. I think it's the most predictable just because Alabama doesn't have a path to lose, really, to me. Um, I would like to say that I do think this year will be the craziest year of March Madness ever, ever, because I think it's so wide open, and that may even lead it to just being the same four teams. But I think it's just so wide open, man. But with that being said, the East region is the what I like to call big brand region. The
Mm.
big, the big brand, the blue blood region, so to say. Then we got the Midwest or the Midwest. The Midwest is the newcomer region. The uh, the newcomer slash kind of just hey, where did you come from region? Like Texas, Houston, like yeah, they were predicted to be good, but this
You might
good
as well just call it the Texas region. I don't even
for
mean
real.
just because Texas is in it, but like every Texas squad. Like, how many do we have? Is it just the three, or is it more?
3 of 16 is a pretty good percentage of Texas teams
Texas, A&M, Houston.
in Texas.
Is there any other? No.
I'm
Where's
just gonna call
Xavier?
that region
Ohio.
like well, I'll call yeah. Um yeah, they are and but I'm gonna call this region hey, welcome back. Houston's been here before, Texas been this good before, Xavier's been this good before, Indiana's been this good before, Miami's been really talented before, Iowa State's been here. hey, welcome back. That's what I'm gonna call this region.
I was
And
gonna
then
say,
my
I think
last
that's a
region,
better name. That's a better name,
that's the
in my opinion.
West region. I'm gonna call the West region. Um, the the more I'm gonna call them the modern region. You got Kansas there every year. UCLA every year there too. See, it feels like Gonzaga every year for the past 10 years. That's why I'm calling it the modern region. UConn, you could call them a more modern team probably. Uh,
Hmm.
from '08 to 16 probably. I mean, I'd call that modern. Then St. Mary's is modern. TCU is definitely modern. I mean, not that they'll hold the spot, but I'm just saying. I think this is my 2000s squad, 2010s, 20 teens region.
Yep.
I think I really like how the bracket's broken up. I think anything can happen in any region. There will definitely be no perfect brackets this year.
I don't think so. I think this is one of the hardest years, like you said, to predict to a T at least.
Right. But it's been fun. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Um, Thursday, what do you or well, we'll talk about it and we'll announce it on the Instagram. We're gonna start announcing everything on Instagram and Twitter. Follow them, Out of Bounds Pods. There will be announcements for every stream when every podcast comes out on Apple and Spotify and all that. There'll be announcement that we'll put our graphics out there, like our Final Four graphics. That's going up right after the stream. Um, a lot of things coming. A lot of things coming. So just watch the Instagram, watch all of that, and most of all, let's start the tournament tonight. Let's watch the first four. I mean, it's gonna be fun. Um, it's obviously gonna be great, but it always goes by fast. So enjoy it while it's going on, because
Facts.
it comes and goes very fast. And
Hmm.
if you're lucky enough to be able to still be watching it in school, enjoy it because those are the best days of your life.
I swear.
But there's nothing like acting like you're doing some USA test prep and watching watching your Drake wagon roll over a 5-setter
Or
for sure.
when you in health class and you seeing Trey Young at Oklahoma get blown out in the first round.
Or Buddy Healed
Buddy Hield.
that year. That was fun to watch. But man, what great times this tournament has given us, and what great times it will give us in the future. Um, but any announcements we have as far as coming up? We will be giving our MLB predictions soon, our division predictions, our World Series predictions. If you can even predict that 162 games in advance, um, we'll be giving all that within the next 2 weeks. Those will probably be our pre-recorded like Wednesday episodes when we don't record.
Yep.
Um, so we'll probably come out with that on Wednesdays. But so be ready for that. And obviously, NBA is winding down. Right after NCAA, we'll pick up with MLB and NBA as our big topics. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. I'm excited. World Baseball Classic is also going on. So the pool play is almost over with. It's already almost over with somehow. But does USA play tonight, or am I mistaken?
I can check for you. I want to say no, but
I
they
think they
could.
have to. I think they
They
play.
no, they don't.
When do
They
they play tomorrow night?
play yeah Wednesday night against Colombia.
Right.
Yeah, the
Okay.
games tonight are Dominican Republic and Israel, and Mexico and Great Britain.
Gotcha. Um. So bet on. Oh, we can go over a bet real quick. I'm going the first four. The teams I said that are going to win. I am going to put in a parlay. Um. But tonight my prize picks entries. I've got Jokic. Well, he was a taco. 42.5 PRA. Jalen Jackson. This is Darren's play. Jalen Jackson, 18 points, rebounds, and assists. More than that, obviously. Higher. And then I added this in. I'm not confident in this, so don't play this if you don't want to lose money. Clifford Am I saying that right? Omarui,
Um, um,
Omorui,
Amori, Amori.
Omori.
I think it's how
That
they
sounds
pronounce
about right.
it.
10.5 rebounds. I'm going over. I'm a little nervous about this, but he does average 10, and Hofstra's small, like we talked about. So I'm going Clifford. Over 10.5 rebounds, and then another play I got from. Shout out to Colin our shot on Twitter. He's pretty accurate. But he started the ladder challenge. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, my Cal Bridge is 21.5 points. This is Taco, and then R.J. Barrett 27 points and rebounds tonight. DJ DeAndre Ayton 18 more than 18 points. Josh Giddey over 16.5, and Spencer Dinwiddie over 8 assists against the Thunder. So those are my plays tonight. Um, and obviously I said A&M Corpus Christi, Texas Southern, Arizona State, and Mississippi State for the first 4 games. Those are my picks.
Yeah, I'm
And
with
I will
you
be
on. I'm with you on
all
all of
but
them except I'm going SEMO.
right. Yeah. So I'm gonna put that in a parlay. Let's hope it hits. And it's been a fun broadcast. Thanks for tuning in. It will be going up on Apple as soon as we get done here. So go play that. We've gained a few followers on Apple in the past few days. So go check us out on there. Give us a follow. It's not going to do you any harm to follow us. Um, but that's all I got.
Yep, you guys enjoy some basketball. Let's go.
Enjoy some basketball.